The Apache NiFi user interface is simple to use and provides everything you need to visualize, edit, monitor, and administer data flows. In this demo, we will highlight and navigate through its different segments, and we will see how to use and configure components. Once you have entered the Apache NiFi UI in your favorite browser, you can see a blank canvas. This is where you can build your data flow. The different parts in the UI are the Components toolbar in the top left, the status bar below that toolbar, the Navigate and Operate palette on the left-hand side, the global menu in the upper right corner, and the search field below that. Let's now take a closer look on each of these. The Component toolbar is made up on items that you can drag onto the canvas to build your data flow. These include processors, input ports, output ports, process groups, remote process groups, funnels, templates, and labels. For example, if you want to add a processor to the data flow, you just need to pull it down from the Components toolbar and drop it onto the canvas. If you want to select more components at once, you can hold down the Shift key and can simply drag a selection box around it. Let's now see what the status bar shows us. The status bar can be found below the Components toolbar and shows us a bunch of things. It provides information about the number of threads that are currently active in the data flow, the amount of data that currently exists in the flow, how many remote process groups exist on the canvas in its two different states, transmitting and not transmitting, how many processors exist on the canvas in each state, running, stopped, invalid, and disabled, the number of version process groups exist on the canvas also in each state, up to date, locally modified, stale, locally modified and stale, and sync failure, and the last status represents the timestamp at which all of this information was last refreshed. Additionally, if the instance of NiFi is clustered, the status bar also shows how many nodes are in the cluster and how many are currently connected. The palettes to the left can make the development of data flows more convenient. You can also collapse them if you don't need them, or you want to see more working space on the canvas. The Navigate palette you can use to pan around the canvas and to zoom in and out. The bird's eye view of the data flow provides a high-level view and allows you to pan across large portions of the data flow and to see all components at a glance. The purpose of the Operate palette below is mainly to provide an assistance to manage the flow. For example, if you select a process group, you can then use buttons in the Operate palette to interact with it, such as Start and Stop it, or Copy and Paste it. On the right side of the canvas is Search and the Global menu. You can use Search to easily find components on the canvas by simply typing the component name, type, or other identifiers, and the UI will go right to it. The Global menu shows a lot of other things that are available in the UI, but covering each of them would go beyond the scope of this module. At the beginning, the help page could be quite useful. It contains all the documentation available. This is a good place to get more details about the processor, apart from other general documentations. At the bottom of the screen you can further find a path, which is indicating your current position in the data flow. As you enter a group, this path will change, and you can use it to navigate within the data flow. This concludes the brief introduction of the Apache NiFi user interface.